is 5:15 on December 19th, the last meeting of the City Council for 2023. Call the meeting to order. Ashley, you want to do a roll call, please?
Sure. Rudolph? Here. Shaven?
Here.
Kroger? Here. Peterson?
Here.
Lindbergh?
Here.
And we received the agenda. I think the only thing we're changing was just the lettering downstairs under 5. We'll just go back to A, B, C, D instead of B, C, D, whatever that is down there. So just because of Sharon's a little sharper than I am. Starts picking that up 10 seconds before we started here tonight. Thanks, Sharon. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion.
Second. Motion by Lindbergh, second by Peterson.
Rudolph?
Aye.
Shaven?
Aye.
Kroger?
Aye.
Peterson?
Aye.
Lindbergh?
Aye.
I guess we should state too, B. Lindbergh is absent tonight, so. Any conflicts? I guess we can state them now, or when we get to them, there probably is a couple down the list. Okay, so we can just.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and find out. Mayor, I'm going to abstain from other business item A or B.
The first one?
First one
on the
the
right,
2080 agreement for
Okay.
law enforcement service. I will abstain from that vote.
Okay.
And Ashley, I will abstain from 5B,
Okay.
please.
Okay. Under the consent agenda, these are all under one motion. We have the minutes of the December 5th council meeting, December 6th budget work session, claims list number 1304, the amount of $72,582.48. Expenditure and revenue reports for the month of November for 2023. Sheriff's statistical report for November of 2023. Renewal application for Cyclone Lanes Class C retail alcohol license. I didn't see anything. You guys saw some of the larger amounts there. Any questions about any of those under that? Nope.
Like the lower amounts.
Yeah.
That's good.
Just double digits for that first number instead of triples. So, is there a motion for the consent agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Rudolph, second by Lindbergh.
Rudolph?
Aye.
Shaven?
Aye.
Kroger?
Aye.
Peterson?
Aye.
Lindbergh?
Aye.
Then we've reached the time for a public hearing regarding the application for Community Development Block Grant Program for Financial Assistance to the Wastewater System Improvement Project. Second time around, I'm thinking, is what this might be. So,
yeah, we have Danny Brigg from our Council of Government who's been facilitating this for us. As I mentioned last week, this may seem a little bit like deja vu from the previous meeting, yet this is back on the agenda to ensure that we had met the requirements for advertising and also some additional requirements that Danny had pointed out. So yeah, with that, Danny, if you want to highlight that, we'd appreciate it.
Yes, so this is just really a redo of the last meeting. We just had a little bit of a communication error about getting the notice to the newspaper, so we wanted to redo it just to make sure that we had everything checked off for this application. So I will just run through the information again, and we'll go over any questions that might be had. So as a result of needed system improvements, the city has planned for a sewer system improvement project. The city hired Veenstra & Kim to complete a preliminary engineering report and cost estimate. Funds for this service are provided by local funds. Veenstra & Kim proposes to do SIP lining for approximately 22,067 feet, sanitary sewer main to prevent inflow and infiltration. The construction will take approximately a year after award is made to complete. The application will be made on or before January 1st, 2024. The city is applying for $500,000 in CDBG funds, and the city will provide the local match of approximately $820,000. The total project cost is estimated at approximately $1.3 million. The project will benefit the entire community of Harlan, particularly those who are low to moderate income residents. The low to moderate income rate of the city is 52.81 according to a local income survey that we conducted earlier this year. No persons will be displaced by the proposed activities. Any acquisition of land will occur in accordance with the provisions of the Uniform Acquisition and Relocation Act, but no land acquisition is needed for this. As a requirement of the CDBG application, those present at the hearing will discuss the community development housing needs within the city, including major housing and community development needs for LMI residents and other major housing and community needs for non-LMI residents, and any planned or potential activity needs. Now, we had put out the survey for this and we got 10 responses, but we did talk about this at the last meeting, and we mentioned that the results that we got on this survey aligned with results that we had gotten from the comprehensive plan and the Shelby County Wellness Alliance. I had down stuff about tax abatement, housing repairs for LMI residents, upper story housing program, mental health being put together, a program being put together at the hospital, and 3 behavior health days with evening and morning sessions. And then as far as economic development, recruiting businesses to bring in jobs. I am assuming that that is all still accurate. Is there anything else we want added to that since we're here again?
I don't believe so.
Right. Have there been any written or oral comments received?
There were none.
Okay. Then that is all I have, unless there are any other questions or comments about this.
Doesn't sound like it.
And I'll just comment as we get the resolution, which I believe we had alluded to through budget planning, not only last year, but this year, that with our local funding towards this, it's allocation of some of our ARPA monies, as well as our planned sewer improvements over the past 2.5 years, which we've not, which we allocate towards lining and improvements. So that's where our combined local match comes from this.
Yeah, so then I will need a copy of that resolution to include with the application. But yes, we'll need that.
So you need a motion to close your hearing.
Okay, is there a motion to close the hearing?
A motion.
Motion by Lindberg, second by Shaven.
Rudolph.
Aye.
Shaven.
Aye.
Kroger.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Lindberg.
Aye.
And then next up, we have the resolution 2552, authorizing the city of Harlan to dedicate city funds towards the sanitary sewer improvements. A motion for resolution 2552.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Kroger, second by Shaven.
Rudolph.
Aye.
Shaven.
Aye.
Kroger.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Lindberg.
Aye.
Thanks for
Great,
joining
thank
in.
you.
Yep, thanks Danny, have a good Christmas.
We'll get
You too.
We'll get you that resolution tomorrow, Danny.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, next up we have the Scott and Scott show for holiday entertainment. The update for,
Scott's got Rick.
and well, Rick's kind of a late add-on there. He said he's just moral support, so,
Zoning board.
I can't say that out loud, so we gotta wait for it.
Oh.
So we have the Harlan Airport review, Scott McLaughlin, Scott Paisley. You guys wanna give us an update on,
You want us to give it from the chair here, or do we have to go up?
you might wanna come up here just for the camera's sake, and
Okay.
your fame and fortune will come your way now, at least in a rebroadcast of this later, so.
You guaranteeing that?
Yeah,
Show off that winter beer.
everything's guaranteed in this room, so.
How much, I know about fame, but how much fortune?
Well, negotiating on that part.
Hey, we're gonna give a brief overview of things that have occurred out there, the improvements that have been done, what future improvements we're looking at and hoping to occur in the next year or two at least, and into 2030. We got some of that listed. And just a recent activity numbers that we're going to give you. Some of it's kind of estimates, but it's kind of snowballed because we have to do the ALP update, and the engineers have been requesting all kinds of things, from documentation of what aircraft we have coming out there, the size of the aircraft, photos of the aircraft, to justify keeping the status of the airport, or of a B2, which covers a lot of your Lear jets, Citation jets, the bigger things. The B1s is more like the King Airs, big twin turboprop. And then the A1s, I believe it was, that covers a lot of our crop dusters out there and the smaller twin engine stuff. But that activity, I found out during the course, this is based over a 10 or 20 year span. And the numbers Gene has up there. Year to date, we've had 738 aircraft, well, I should say through November, 1,835 takeoff and landings. And a lot of that's from students and people keeping current. To haul passengers, you're supposed to do 3 takeoff and landings to full stop the previous 90 days once you get your license. Students will do numerous takeoff and landings. For an example, yesterday we had 4 airplanes in, and they did 22 takeoff and landings at the airport. So back to aircraft activity. Fuel sales have been real good. 8,670 gallons of 100 low lead, which goes in a lot of the piston turbo or engine airplanes. And then our Jet A, we sold 6,000. Crop dusting, no, that was a year ago. Excuse me, on the 100 low lead. So we've increased our sales by 2,600, partially because of the more activity being seen by the Council Bluffs Airport and students that we currently have at the airport. Jet A, 45,000 gallons was sold versus 46,000 last year's, very comparable. And this month, we've had 36 aircraft do 124 takeoff and landings so far. And we still got a week's worth of activity to see. And then that next slide really shows what unique problems we have out at the airport. The orange area kind of extends further across the top of the picture at the north end of the hangars, clear out toward the highway. That area was part of the taxi lane rehab, and the measurements shown there in the center pictures, that bottom one is 3.5 inches to 4 inches of concrete laying on dirt, and that goes from the parking apron up to the large hangar. And there's no wonder that that broke up the way it did, because that's just basically sidewalk material. Now, and then that upper top center is 9 inches of asphalt that was between the red and white striped hangar and the other hangar. When they cut it out, I measured that, 9 inches of asphalt put in there on top of dirt. So we're lucky things have maintained as well as they have over the years. And that picture to the right is new concrete that they put in where that asphalt was. And all of that new stuff is dug down to the dirt, they compacted the dirt, then they put 6 inches of gravel on top, compacted that, and then 6 inches of concrete on top of that. So we almost got a regular highway out there, so it should be a lot more durable and last for years to come. There's some other phases that'll be coming up for hopefully taxi lane rehab between the other hangars just north of the office. This one here shows pictures on the left is the before of what the taxi lane looked like, and then the ones on the right is what the new concrete looks like. The lower right is a huge improvement. That's the approach aprons to each of the individual hangars. Made a tremendous difference. They're wider, they're flatter, easier to move the airplanes in and out of, and they're built to good specs. Before that was just, like I said, asphalt on dirt. So we're lucky that it's lasted the city this long.
How old was that stuff, Scott, that they took out?
That there is anybody's guess, because I never really found any documentation when that was done. It probably goes back to, I would guess, 80s, early 80s on some of that concrete.
Yeah.
The asphalt, maybe in the 70s when Western had a plane out there and was very active. I think that's why we see a lot of asphalt that's out there presently. And the next future project shows hangar 6 there to the right. That's what's been done. It has new hydro swing doors on that hangar on both the north and the south side. It made a huge difference on that. It made it tighter. Birds don't get in and out of there. Coons don't get in and out of that hangar anymore. A lot more secure and substantial, because you don't have to worry about the doors blowing in on the airplanes, which has happened out there a couple occasions. The hangar on the left is hangar 3. We're currently applying for a state grant to do 3 to 4 doors on that hangar. There's a total of 7 doors or hangars on that particular hangar. So hopefully we can get awarded that grant and start rehabbing that hangar. And our next one is showing some of the apron rehab. The triangle there is the apex corners, which make better transitions for cornering the airplanes or movement areas. The red box there on the right is a designation of a fueling area for the Jet A, and that really hampered us on our parking apron. That essentially has taken out 2 of the parking spots to tie down airplanes. So legally and feasibly, we can only tie 1 airplane down out there now in the parking. Because our Jet A is on the north end of the parking ramp, and our 100 Lowlet's at a different location on the southeast side of the parking ramp. So that leads us up to our future plans of apron expansion. And the fine print, hard for me to read from this distance, but it shows some of the things that have been done in 22 and 23, either in progress or has been completed. The phase 1 and phase 2 of the tax lane improvements is done. We're working on the ALP layout run of the airport. The engineer's been out surveying, and we got to do this because there's some issues with our grass runway the FAA wants looked at, so this is a perfect time to have to do this airport layout plan and to get proper data to the FAA and get improvements done out there, whether it be obstruction clearances or some type of dirt work being done out there to increase safety factors for the grass. And this also helped for our future plans like the apron expansion, the fuel farms facility, which would be nice to take our underground tanks out, and then we don't have to mess with DNR and the ongoing insurance our premiums because we have underground storage. So that will hopefully come around at the same time as we do the apron expansion and alleviate some costs. And then phase 3 of our taxi lane improvements, which would be around the office in hangar 2 and the south side of hangar 3 and the north side of hangar 3 and 6. And then the future plans of of doing a hangar's been pushed to 2030. When I first started the airport commission, it was planned to be done in 2018. To put in a new hangar, but we keep kicking it back. So now we're up to this slide there that Gene has. These airplanes have just been out there this last week. The one in the center lower is the kickoff to the political season. Some gentlemen come out of Pennsylvania to do some pre-caucus work, and they come in that jet. They were jet bounced over to Council Bluffs because that was their next stop to go back to DC that night. Plane in the upper center come out of Indiana to go to Minden to buy 2 puppies. They're Border Collie lab mixes.
Rough life.
And then lower left, that plane come out of Kansas to meet with one of our, it's a local business out of a Shelby Avoca area. It's Mixed Mate. They make chemical handling equipment for ag businesses. There's 2 gentlemen come in that airplane to look at that system. They farm 63,000 acres.
Oh.
And another sideline, the planes on the right there is a turboprop come out of Colorado. They spent the night, overnighted before they went on east to Maine, I think is where they were headed. We had a plane come last month out of Nebraska to meet with Corey Sorensen and ended up buying a catch cart because they had one rolled, and so they needed a new one. What's our next slide, Gene?
Next slide is the closing slide.
Okay. So, don't want to take up too much time. I hope I didn't bore you too much.
No, it's good to
You
see
took up
you.
Gene's time, so. I'd like to offer a couple comments though, that of the projects that we've been working on out at the airport. Scott's been a great driver to help oversee and kind of keep eyes on the contractors and been good at communicating back and forth with the city, and really done an excellent job as our airport manager out there. We're very appreciative to have him working with us out there. There's just a couple of points that, Gene, go back to just the previous slide if you could, please. So one of the things you might notice in that lower left with the airplane parked up next to the fuel pump, it's really kind of tight space out there, and we were really having trouble. It takes a lot of the ramp space, so that's where I think down the road we're looking at an apron expansion project coming down the road. And when it comes to these projects, we want to keep in mind that the local match, if it's a federal project, which that apron expansion would be, it's a 90-10, 90% federal, 10% local. Some of the state projects are running about 85 to 15. That'd be the max. Some are a little bit different, such as the lanyard doors are some of the projects we're working on as well that would be a state level. So, over the last several years, we've just been trying to pick off what we can from, I wouldn't say necessarily a lot of deferred maintenance, but there has been some things that we've tried to shore up out there at the airport. And one of the key points to keep in mind is, well, working on the hangars, the hangars are all full. We actually have a waiting list for people to come in. So we want to make sure that we have a viable space for anybody that wants to come to the airport and keep working on that demand. The other thing that Scott has been very good at is working with the ag sprayers in the summertime. I don't know, that 46,000 gallons of Jet A, that's a lot of fuel. And that usually comes within about a 3-week time frame in late July, early August. And so Scott does an excellent job of keeping everything rolling, keep all the wheels turning for those folks too. And that's really been a big focus of us all out at the airport, is to develop that ag spraying business to accommodate those folks, because that's one of our best revenue generators for the year, is that Jet A fuel sales. But anyway, I didn't want to add too much more, but I just thought it deserved, you know, to give Scott some kudos for the work he's doing out there. So.
Thank you.
And I would just follow up with, I'm glad you mentioned Scott McLaughlin regarding the occupancy in the hangars. There are 28 hangars out there, it's been 100% occupancy 3 to 4 years now. And with the hangar improvements, the commission has been really forward with forethought as those improvements have taken place, the rents have changed. So the payback on those of local match, and some of those have been 8 to 9 years from our local match, just from incremental improvement on, it might have been a $45 per month rent, and it may have been increased to 55 or 60 due to those improvements. So looking to capture and add revenue where appropriate versus just simply it's all falling on the taxpayer. So really appreciate the commission with their involvement as well.
I think that occupancy, it's been a while ago, but we were renting them out just to rent them out for storage and whatever else, and now they're actually airplanes that are in all these hangars that, you know, there was a time where we were big borrowing and stealing to get somebody to put something in there, didn't care what it was, and now it's flying in and flying out. So that is a big change from where it was a few years ago. So.
Yeah, we're having a continual discussion on highest and best use of that hangar space.
Yeah.
Just like anything, there's always the bell curve, there's a few on the fringes, right? So, but it's a great problem to have. And Sharon's been a multi-year liaison there.
Tiny piece of that, so.
But
I want to give public kudos to you guys, the commission, Scott, both Scotts, just your input, your insight and guidance is very much appreciated. So, especially the volunteer commission members.
Thank you.
You guys are important to that, as well as keeping the data. There were years, many years we had no data, so that is a huge improvement from my particular seat. So I very much appreciate that.
Well, thanks for having us. Appreciate the opportunity.
Appreciate the update.
Feel free to stop out. There's
coffee pots always on.
Yeah. And sodas.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Scott.
I can vouch that it was probably.
Going over your house?
Right over that.
Moving on to 5A, review the amended 28E agreement for law enforcement services. Gene, you want to address this one?
Yes, this was also reviewed at the Board of Supervisors this morning, and just in simplest terms, this is providing clarification to an item already in the contract, and specifically it was under the payment for command staff, which is administration and supervision, which is in the contract, and it was under bullet point 3, which was sent out to you. And after talking with the county auditor, the sheriff, and then both attorneys, it was felt, it was felt and necessary to update the contract to be most clear on what that method of payment, how that will be facilitated, and also transparent. So probably the key item from the city's end is that, as well as the counties, is that it doesn't change the amount of the contract. It just means that third quarter payment is reduced $20,000, and that payment's going directly to the sheriff for administration and supervisory, which we would be paying for command staff with the chief, sergeant, assistant. So, anything you would add to that, Sheriff?
I just add that it was planned, it was communicated, it was in negotiation. To that set amount, it was actually set off in its own line item. We just never figured out an avenue of how to actually do it. So this is just transparency and clarification on how to make that avenue work. That's it. Like you said, Gene, no changes otherwise.
Right.
Something we
Questions or comments? Again, sent that out, and just clarifying that third quarter payment and the bullet points to highlight that $20,000.
So we've already got the agreement in place. We're just clarifying one piece.
We just added that language under item 3,
Okay.
those bullet points.
You guys, any questions about that, discussion about that? Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second. Motion by Rudolph, second by Peterson, and Lindbergh's gonna abstain from this one.
Rudolph.
Aye.
Shaven.
Aye.
Kroger.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye. Review the 2024 solid waste and recyclables hauler licenses.
These are renewed each year. Those were in your packet. Pull them up here. We have the 4 primary private solid waste haulers. R&S, Harlan Hauling, whoops, that was one. Kroger Hauling, and Kroger and Sons. And they filed a permit, as well as been inspected, so those are renewed each year for our ordinance.
Better have a discussion about a couple of those.
Be nice.
No,
I'm pretty glad that we got 4, right? And actually do it.
For sure.
yeah, not a, yeah, a job where you get to select your hours, I guess. Whether, kudos to all of them.
Okay, is there a motion for that one?
I will make that motion there. Second.
Motion by Lindbergh, second by Peterson, with Kroger abstaining from this one.
Rudolph.
Aye.
Shaven.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Lindbergh.
Aye.
Item C is removing our meeting from January 2nd to January 3rd due to the New Year's holiday.
That'll be Wednesday instead of Tuesday, which we discussed at the last meeting, and we memorialize that with action.
Motion now.
Second.
Motion by Kroger, second by Lindbergh.
Rudolph.
Aye.
Shaven.
Aye.
Kroger.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Lindbergh.
Aye.
Review and file the Airport Commission meeting minutes from December 15th of 2023.
Make that motion. Second.
Motion by Kroger, second by Rudolph.
Rudolph.
Aye.
Shaven.
Aye.
Kroger.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Lindbergh.
Aye.
And out of that, we need to review the FAA Airport Improvement Program, AIP, pre-application.
Final step to get this on to the FAA. Great timing with having the Airport Commission here this evening. This was just reviewed at their meeting last Friday. It's due to the airport this week. In fact, I think tomorrow, so good timing each year as these are approved. Once again, these are pre-applications. That's what's stated in our 5- and 10-year CIP or AIP, the Capital Improvement Plan. And it's a pre-application. It's not obligate funds. It's just to put in writing the plans and estimated costs of what these up to the 2 most in the near term projects in the CIP plan. So I think it was 8 or 9 pages. One of them which was spoke to so here was the additional phase of the taxi lane work. And then I think I jumped over the, here we go. As Scott and Scott spoke to this area here on the south where my cursor is, that would be one of the current considerations for apron expansion, which is one of the most near projects in AIP. So simply looking for final council blessing to get this filed with the FAA. And again, the 2 highlights are it's in concert with what we filed before, and it does not actually commit any funds at this point.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Lindbergh, second by Shaven.
Rudolph.
Aye.
Shaven.
Aye.
Kroger.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Lindbergh.
Just a quick question, maybe you guys get to that. When you submit that, I mean, like, time frame, I mean, is it a pretty, is it like a guaranteed, approval process, or are you, like, they say, no, not at this time? Or is it like a significant wait time that you're told?
It's one of the initial steps, and we won't know until spring whether it's yay or nay.
Okay.
I think the funding takes so long, and the process takes so long when it comes to federal and state projects like this, that they want a look a long time ahead, you know, in advance, so that they kind of know what's coming down the pipeline.
Things are prioritized with all the airports, general aviation airports, I should say, that all the aviation side things have to be taken care of first, which is runways first priority, parallel taxiways second priority, our parking aprons third, and then our taxi lanes are fourth priority. And depending on the competitiveness of the state airports, region airports, who's all putting their hand in the pie, and then it's up to the FAA on who gives out the Christmas gift or birthday gift, whatever you want to look at it as, because it comes out in the spring, late spring, when they finally award these grants.
Perfect.
The pot isn't big enough.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, that's what I kind of figured, I mean, endless list of opportunities, but no.
Did you ever answer me?
What?
I said Lindbergh.
I said yes.
You did?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't hear you.
I thought you asked a question.
Yeah, he asked the question, I'm like, did you answer me?
I said yes, and then I said, I have a question real quick on
And
that.
throw the red flag.
Hey,
See the replay.
I apologize for pulling you up on that then.
We'll
Yay.
take back on checking.
Okay.
What's going on
Yeah.
that side? I think we're gonna rotate you to the other side.
Go first. Next item.
All right. Well, since Scott and Scott took up Gene's spot, we'll move on to Gene's spot, I guess. Take it away, city administrator.
Kick it off with the holiday season. I know Tom will have an update on it as well. Yet, certainly happy holidays to our community, those here, and certainly to you as elected officials. I feel so blessed to work not only in this community, it's a true pleasure, but also with this council. So I've always appreciated your support. We try to, my attempt is always to be transparent and keep you updated. And no better time of year to wish you happy holidays and extend my appreciation to each of you. A couple of updates. EMS was reported on this morning by Jordan Sanders, the interim director with the Shelby County Ambulance Service, that continues to go well. Harlan Fire and Rescue has been put on standby once, maybe twice. Twice now, thank you, Richard.
Once today.
And yeah, in terms of having to roll out that Medic 3 or that other squad, we've not had to transport. And again, just a reminder to the public that that's an additional layer of protection and fail-safe that we put in place. And just hats off once again to all the entities that stood that business up so quickly. And I know Jordan and the paramedics and the EMTs are staying busy. But just rest assured that when you call 911, that an ambulance is going to respond, and that's a combined effort. So that continues to go well. Reminder that with the change that you approved last meeting at the City Hall hours, that's going well so far. Again, the City Hall hours have been changed from 8 to 5, 8 to 4:30 Monday through Friday, and that was due to, again, just such limited traffic and the rollout of technology and self-serve over the last number of years. We've had no feedback at this point. Those things are going well, and I know staff appreciates that. On Chatburn Avenue, if you've been coming from west or east, we've commented that the DOT has put up some speed feedback signs. One is down by the VFW coming from the east, and the one coming from the west is just across from Crease Garden. So those are just to create awareness on speed and traffic speed reminders.
Tell your wife to use his phone then, so you can.
But appreciate the cooperation with the DOT, and but those are fully installed, and just ask for drivers to be attentive to that. With the continued mild weather, this provided an ongoing opportunity for our Parks and Streets group with diligently working on ash tree removal. And last count, I know we've got another handful the past few days. But I think I should say the team is probably going to get close to 200 ash trees out this year between the parks and right-of-ways. So doing it safely and expeditiously, but the weather certainly helps with that. In your packets, just draw attention to the January 3rd meeting. Will be looking to approve the committee assignments as well as liaison and commissions. So if you have feedback on that for where the mayor drew your names out of the hat and
Deadline's already over.
but if you have feedback on that based upon your schedules and professional schedules, if those don't work or what have you, please let the mayor and I know. We look to make those official on January 3rd. And then also on that date, the mayor makes every 2 years appointments with a city attorney, treasurer, and health officer, and those will be on the January 3rd agenda as well. And the final item I have tonight is some exciting news. The Dream Playground Committee continues to just move forward with ideas and fundraising, and as I've reported, that the total amount pledged in between grants and pledges and other donations is over $400,000, and the committee is doing wants to do a final end-of-year push and reminder. So due to a donor who's going to pay for inserts in the newspaper, so there'll be inserts in the newspaper next week, a 2-sided insert about end-of-year giving and what the donor level opportunities are. And also in there will be indicating what the planned name is for the playground. And that is, as Connie Kloss was here, has been working with that lead gift donor of $250,000. And it's looking to be Grandma B's Dream Playground. And we see that being very fitting. But it's got the Dream Playground name in it, and that'll be part of that insert as well. Hats off to that committee and a number of go-getters and towards a key future community project. So that's all I have for tonight, Mayor, and again, happy holidays and a pleasure to serve you all.
Thanks, Gene. Thank you.
Anybody have any feedback, questions for Gene? Nope. Okay. Under my report, we were gonna give a certificate, and because this would have been RJ's last meeting tonight, but this is why, he had to step away from sitting in the chair, because he's just a busy guy. He's where he needs to be, and he feels bad because he doesn't want to be the guy that's just, name only and can't be here physically, so that's why he did not run this last time. So this would have been his meeting. We'll catch up to him and give him a certificate. He's probably got keys to most of the buildings in town anyway, so we're going to give him a key. And we do appreciate what he has done, helped us this last year. And we will welcome Jenny Kelly the next meeting. She will be sitting in the chair, I guess be two over, because we'll rotate chairs this way and that way. So, but being last meeting, this would have been RJ's. We will find him. We'll have to find him on the street probably, and give him a key to whatever we're going to give him a key to. So we do thank him for what he's done to help us as a city. And then I'll get to it when the sheriff stands up, but we'll talk about a couple things there too. But Todd, we'll go right to you, to Shelby County Chamber of Commerce and Industry update.
All right. Well, good evening.
Good evening.
Todd.
Just a couple of reminders that yet this week through December 22nd, we still have the Shop and Win program going on. So as you see retailers and restaurants that have a "Let's Keep the Cheer Here" sign in their window, for when you go in and shop there, for every $25 you spend, you'll get a raffle ticket. And as we come back out of the break on January 2nd, we'll draw 4 winners of chamber gift certificates off of those raffle tickets. So make sure you keep shopping local there. Also a reminder that the chamber holiday hours will be closing at noon on Friday, December 22nd, and then we won't reopen again until January 2nd. Congratulations to the Shelby County Historical Museum. They've been selected as one of 9 locations in Iowa to host a new program. It's called Spark, Places of Innovation. It's a really cool exhibit. So they'll be putting some more information out soon. regarding when the program will be cranking up in hours, that type of thing, but it was just a really big honor for them to get selected for that. They're, again, only one of 9 museums in the state that got elected. Iowa Western, just a reminder that they are offering Class B CDL training now. So what's happening is they've been putting the program together. They've got an adjunct instructor hired, but probably could use another one if there's anybody out there who's still looking for some part-time work. They have the trailer and semi-ready to roll. They have the certified road test, and they're just finalizing the skills test to meet the DOT standards. Class information should be out in the middle of January, and then first class should start in March. So if you know people who are looking for a job change or something, one of the biggest needs we have right now in the county is CDL drivers. So, and then also a reminder from the Shelby County ISU Extension that you can become a Master Gardener. The program will begin February 26th. Applications are open January 15th through February 12th, and the cost is $150. Then finally, another thing to think about is we have a new program through Iowa Western and through the high school. It's called Project Palooza. So it's kind of a STEM project for businesses and the high school and middle school kids. So as a business, doesn't matter what size you are, small business, large business, if it's something that you're just doing on the side, if there's something there that you think is holding you back, so maybe it's a procedure we're doing it the same way we've always done it, but if somebody could just take a little bit of time to look at this and focus on it, they could probably streamline it and make it go a lot faster. A project like that, or a project like, hey, we need new logos, we need to, remake the way we look, then that could be a project. Or it could be just ways to, create different advertisements, like, hey, I know I should be out on social media, but I'm not good at that, I need some help with that. So those are the type of projects you would bring to this program. It's going to be on February 15th. That we'll be meeting at the high school. There'll be a lot more news about it. But then you'll be able to sit down with students and who have an interest in helping you solve that issue that you have with your business. So again, keep watching for more information on that. And then last but not least, we're all going to be eating so much food this coming weekend. You're not going to want to cook for New Year's Eve, so make sure you go to Westphalia, because the fire department in Westphalia is having a steak dinner on New Year's Eve as a fundraiser. So that's it for the chamber.
Thank you, Todd.
Thanks, Todd.
Right. Thanks.
And under each of you's report, Joe was unable to attend tonight. He didn't pass anything on to me or anything to you.
No, sir.
You know, so you won't have anything there. Shelby County Sheriff's update. Before the sheriff spits out any words over there, I will congratulate him on he got an award. His team did, a Sullivan Award. Was that yesterday?
It was yesterday.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know most people in your business don't toot your own horn, but we'll toot it for you. That's something like you guys are just doing your job, but it's nice that you're recognized because of making decisions, and those kind of decisions had to be made, not just sit and think not for 25 minutes or an hour. You kind of make a decision, and you as first responders and law enforcement, is that what category is what that fell under as far as for the state of Iowa?
It's first responders, or law enforcement and fire, actually, is what it falls under.
And your team, I'm not going to, Cody Eccles, Jacob Haas, and Bill McDaniel, and yourself.
Yeah.
We're all there with the governor and lieutenant governor, and congratulations. That was
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. That was a very nice award to have. We were nominated by one of our other guys that was actually on scene without knowing. So that was kind of a cool surprise to get a letter in the mail from the governor's office stating, hey, you're receiving this award. So he did it behind our back, Captain Butler did, but that was really nice of him to do. So
take it away with a numbers report or anything else you want to tell us.
Yeah, no, right now I basically got the numbers report for November. I think it was sent out to Gene last week. So accidents, we had 8 of those investigated in the city of Harlan. Traffic citations 13, warnings were 74. Arrests were 13, which is down. So hopefully that means we're doing our job. As hopefully we continue to see that decline a little bit from months prior.
Is the goal 0? Is that what you're
The goal
looking
is,
for?
well, yes and no.
Kyle probably says that. You probably said
0. Kyle will say yes.
60 days, yes. If we can have that as a goal, that would be great.
I don't have the exact number, but if we're talking about it, I know, what was it, Kyle, 18? We set our personal best in the jail for intakes, our highest number.
Highest number would be 20.
And 20? And how many was it, 500?
Oh, as far as intakes?
Yeah.
26 16, we were at 503 bookings total. As individuals that come into our jail, and this year we are at 681.
Already. So it's already a record year, we're not quite done yet. So whether that's good or bad, I guess that means they're doing a good job out there. And Kyle gets to deal with it from there. Criminal mischief reports, we dealt with 2 of those. Thefts, 3. We had 143 contacts, which since we started giving these reports in April 15th, when it kind of took over, we're up to 1,100 contacts, and those are actual. We went out, we talked to somebody face to face, communicated with them over a call. I mean, that's an actual contact. That's not just a, we waved at them as we were going down the street kind of deal. So we're over 1,100 contacts up to the year, and not even the 4 years, so we're happy with that number. Welfare checks were 2. Residential business alarms were 7, which on that note, something that I think maybe the city of police department knew prior that I didn't know, but communicated today with Iowa Western, and anytime we respond to alarms at Iowa Western, they want us to contact their security office. So something we learned today, I worked with Alex putting in the loop through dispatch, so it'll just be an automatic thing moving forward. I'm sure there'll be more of those things we figure out as we continue to do this. Just like the 2080 agreement we worked on, there'll be some little tweaks and stuff we gotta do, but it is what it is. Animal complaints, and this is a big one for us, was 0 this month.
Wow. Nice.
So I commend that to you guys with the code enforcement officer, honestly, because I think he's doing a phenomenal job. We're assisting him with whatever he needs. But kudos to Jack, he's off and running with it. He's doing a phenomenal job. So, I will say one thing I've seen is, since this has taken over, is the ongoing investigation that's continuing to happen, which we said we thought would happen, and I'm seeing it happen. You know, we picked up a burglary case about 3 months ago, and since it stayed within the office, and the same amount of guys were talking about it day in and day out coming through, hey, did you happen to see so-and-so was driving a vehicle that looked like the one that we saw? Hey, I arrested so-and-so, and we have a boot print from a case that matched this boot print, and it just continued to happen to the point where now 3 months later we actually closed the case and recovered a bunch of property for the property owner. So we thought we would see it work that way, and I just want to report that it is happening that way. So I'm very proud to see that working. Other than that, I don't have a lot of updates, Gene. I will say hours and months of patrol for the month of November, 1,389 hours and 17 minutes, which is well above the 220 weekly we looked at. So I think Kyle actually asked me this question once, how do you get more than that? There's only X number of hours in a month. So yeah, but I've got a lot of guys. So every person's logging those hours, you know, at 24 hours minimum for the day. What's that, 700 and some? So obviously we're almost double that. So 2 guys about every hour of the day in the city patrol. So
Nice.
yeah.
And are you still down?
We are down to 1. I've got about 10 to 12 applicants right now that are coming in. We're going to close that on the 29th. I've got a handful I'm really excited to look at, and then the rest of them obviously we'll look at as well. But I'm also have a position open for administrative assistant. That's until filled, and I've got 15 applicants for that as well. So I'm very fortunate right now with the amount of applicants that I've been seeing come in. So
Very good.
yeah, absolutely. Any other questions from the council tonight? I just appreciate you guys' support through all this, and secondly, Gene said, you've been a pleasure to work with. Happy holidays all again. Hopefully we continue to move forward with it at this pace. So
Keep up the good work.
I appreciate that. Thank you again, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Neil.
Neil.
Make sure.
Public comments. Rick, is this where you want to stand up and say anything, or you good?
Merry Christmas.
Go Hawks.
Anybody up here? Nope.
It's been a great time on this side. I'm looking forward to going over to the next side. The other side.
You'll be on your toes over here.
All right, happy holidays. Meeting adjourned.